everyone. So this year my goal is to add more fruit trees to my garden, and I really wanted to plant some heritage raspberries, but after seeing how they spread and because of my spacing, I just don't want them to be growing in my neighbor's lawn. So my only option is containers. So I found a few berries that I can grow in containers. They're from Bushel and Berry. I got them from Amazon. Right now I am about a month away from my last frost. So right now they're dormant, and you can plant them right now. They usually recommend planting them like on early spring, but I want to plant them right now because my weather gets so hot that I really don't get a springtime for them to adapt. So right now giving them this time will allow the roots to settle and the plant to be stronger whenever the heat wave gets here. I'm gonna try it and see how they do. So yeah, let's get to work. Okay, so the first one that we're gonna plant is baby cakes. This is a blackberry, and they grow between 2 and 4 feet tall, I'm pretty sure. So the first thing is make sure that your pot has drain holes. I added some drain holes to this one. I did like 9 of them. The pot is 20 inches and I think it's like 15 inches high. I will be using the same recipe that I did for my in-ground blackberry. I'm gonna do equal parts of peat moss, which I am adding it to lower the pH of my soil. So peat moss is acidic. And then another part black cow manure or compost, whichever one you want to add. And then another part potting soil. So for my in-ground blackberries, I added topsoil. But for pots, I want to do a potting mix because that way it's not so heavy on the roots, and it can suffocate the roots if you add like soil that is so heavy for it. So potting mix is made for pots. That way the roots can have space to breathe. And I'm gonna add perlite. This is just to increase the drainage of it. And if you don't have any peat moss, you can add a soil acidifier too. That will work. But I have a whole thing of peat moss, so I just want to use it. Okay, so I think that is the recipe for the soil. So let's mix it up. Now we add some peat moss. And snowing. Okay, so if you were planting this during spring, I would definitely be adding my baritone right now just to get it well incorporated into the soil. But I am not adding any fertilizer right now because I don't want it to be trying to grow when it's not time. So in early spring, as soon as my last frost hits, I will be adding some baritone. You can definitely mix the baritone right now that you are doing your soil mix. You can probably just use straight up potting soil into your berries, just remember to add a little bit of soil acidifier just to help the pH to drop a little bit, because they do like a little bit of acidity in there. I'm gonna have to get my shovel to mix the bottom. Oh, and another thing, you can pre-moist your peat moss because it does take a little bit for it to absorb water. Oh my gosh. And there you go. There's the potting mix for the blackberries. And I am going to break down the roots a little bit, just so the plant starts building a new root system. I'm just gonna be rough with it. Like, don't go too crazy on them, but just enough to encourage the plant to grow more roots. So now we put it in. Now the next thing is to apply mulch, just to help the plant retain some moisture during the hot weather. And another thing, you want to keep them in direct sun. They like a lot of sun. That's going to help with fruit development. And but if it gets too hot and you notice that the plant is kind of like, you know, not doing great, you can give them a little bit of shade. Just make sure that they get at least between 6 and 8 hours of sun a day. Okay, and you can water right now, but I am not, because it's kind of like raining and it will keep raining, so I don't need to water them right now. Okay, let's put some mulch. Now I'm trying to avoid adding too much mulch around the base of the plant, because that can cause rot. So I'm just, you know, just kind of close but not on it. Okay, so now let's plant the raspberry shortcake. So yeah, I have a 20-inch pot with drain holes. They don't like to stay wet, so that is very important, but they do like consistent water, so that's important. And they like a lot of sun, but if the weather is getting too hot, they like a little bit of shade. So yeah, and for the potting mix, I'm gonna do the exact same thing as baby cakes. So it's gonna be 30% compost, 30% peat moss, about 10% perlite, and 30% potting soil. So that is my mix. Okay, now my mix is ready to go. That is perfect. Now, I am planting these during the winter because I'm just impatient. But you know, it's a plant that is already pretty established. But if you have a bare root raspberry, I wouldn't do this during the winter. I will wait until like the beginning of spring, because bare roots are so tender and they don't have the root system to be able to withstand the cold temperatures yet. Now let's put some mulch around. Now early spring I will apply some baritone, and then I will apply again right before the plant goes dormant for winter again. And that is the plan for fertilizing twice a year. You can use liquid fertilizers, but I just find it so much easier and less work to do this one, you know, because it's a slow release. And that is it. We have baby cakes. By the way, baby cakes is hardy to zone 4 through 8. I am not sure of raspberry shortcake, but I will look it up. And then peach sorbet, it's a blueberry. I planted this one about like 3 days ago, and I didn't want to add it to my video today because I do have another blueberry video about growing blueberries in containers, so I didn't want to do another one and make it even longer. But yeah, so peach sorbet is hardy to zone 5 through 10, and it grows up to 2 feet tall. So yeah, well, that is it for today. I hope that you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.